So I have nothing against my previous TBR game, but I'm ready for a switch up. So we're switching it up, and we're going to switch to the dice roll TBR that I did last month, because I thoroughly enjoyed that. I had a great time picking books off of my shelf. I felt like I was shopping on my own shelves, which I know is a series that several other people do. And this is essentially what I'm doing now for my TBR, and I think I'm going to stick with this for the year in order to try and read the books on my shelves. Now, for this month, I will be picking 7 books because I didn't quite make it through my TBR last month. That is, there's still a couple days left before the end of the month of January. However, I am pretty sure that, like, I'm done. Or not done, but I don't think I'm going to get to the last 2 books, which is unfortunate. They will come back eventually, I promise. So, what we're gonna do first actually is we're gonna fix the shelves because my shelves are messy, and as I've been going through, I have been taking books off the shelves to unhaul them. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of that, and then we're gonna jump into the rolls. So I was actually able to get several books on the shelf for this one, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm only unhauling, I think, 3 books that I found this month. Well, I'm unhauling 5, but I haven't done my wrap-up yet, so we'll see. But I am getting rid of several books, so that is kind of a thing that is going to help with reading off these shelves, because that also means that I'm bringing books from other shelves in here, from other rooms. Like, all of my Book of the Month books are in a different room. So as I read my Book of the Month books off this shelf, I'm going to be switching them out. And so I was able to do that, which is very exciting. And I'm neatening up my shelves. I'm making them a bit more centered around what I want to have here. And I'm very excited about that. So let's get into the rolls, like I said. Here's the dice. Oh, we got a 19. Can't see that. 19. It's this one. Now, a 19 is one of my fantasy shelves, or fantasy sci-fi shelves. This one has my Brandon Sanderson, it has V.E. Schwab, it has a lot of these like bigger authors on it. However, February is a short month, and so I picked a book that's not super long. I did not pick Brandon Sanderson this time. Maybe next time I will. I'm going to read Guards by Terry Pratchett. I actually got this book for Christmas from my husband. I have been wanting to dive into Discworld for years, and I have actually a coworker that's been bugging me to read Discworld for months. Actually, probably years, since I've been working there, about 4 years. I think he's been bugging me to read it like at least 2 of those years. But this is essentially an ode to the soldiers of a castle who do not really get a choice in what they do, and this follows a marauding dragon, or the guards of the castle as there is a dragon attacking it. And Terry Pratchett's books are very tongue-in-cheek, they're very sarcastic, and this series, you are, from what I've heard, even from Terry Pratchett himself, is that you're not supposed to read them in the order that he published them. You read them in a different order, and this is one of the ones you can start with, and this is the new cover that came out. It is kind of fun, but I do like the other covers. We'll see what I end up doing with that, if I end up collecting all of them. we might just end up collecting them as the new covers come out because I don't mind these ones. And they're like actual standard paperback size. His other ones are almost mass market paperback size, so I'm not the biggest fan of having those on these shelves. But this is book number 1. I'm excited. 14. Oh, no, the teens this time. 14. Book number 2. All right, so jumping into my Broken Binding shelves. So I have been subscribed to Broken Binding for over a year now, probably close to 2 years. I have finished one series that I've gotten from them, so it's about time that I start on some others. So given everything that's happening, one book that I would really like to get to, one series honestly that I would like to get to, is Black Sun. That's not the name of the series. What's the name of the series? Between Earth and Sky. The Between Earth and Sky series by Rebecca Roanhorse. The first book is Black Sun. I never remember exactly what it is about. I'm just going to read the description to you guys because I'm so excited for this one. Also, Broken Binding's books are stunning all of the time. Like, stunning books. So, would highly recommend. There's... And paper, sorry, it's sunny right now, so we have very terrible lighting. But you can kind of see. Maybe I should just... And then there's always sprayed edges around the whole thing. And another different end paper on the back, but I'm not going to show it because that tends to be spoilers for the book. A god will return when the earth and sky converge under the black sun. In the holy city of Tova, the winter solstice is usually a time for celebration and renewal, but this year it coincides with a solar eclipse, a rare celestial event prescribed by the sun priest as an unbalancing of the world. Meanwhile, a ship launches from a distant city bound for Tova and set to arrive on the solstice. Yeah, you can read it too if you want. Okay. The captain of the ship, Ixiala, is a disgraced teak whose song can calm the waters around her as easily as it can wrap a man's mind. Her ship carries one passenger. Described as harmless, the passenger, Serapio, is a young man, blind, scarred, and cloaked in destiny. As Ixiala well knows, when a man is described as harmless, he usually ends up being a villain. I have heard nothing but amazing things about this series, and this cover is absolutely stunning, although the original cover is just as beautiful. And I am so excited to actually read this one. I know the author, I have a couple other books by her. I have Trails of Lightning, which is on my shelf. I got that in a different book box years ago. And she actually wrote a Star Wars book, which is kind of fun. So I trust her as far as sci-fi goes, sci-fi and fantasy. I'm curious to see how this one goes. 20. Okay. I got a 20. Shelf 20 is another fantasy shelf. I guess we're going hard on the fantasy this month, which is fine. February is usually a romance month. We'll see if we get more romance. However, for this one, again, there were a lot of kind of bigger books I could have chosen, but given, again, that it's a short month, I'm taking it easy on myself, and I picked All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I know I'm super behind. I haven't read this novella yet. If you haven't heard about this one, I believe it's now an Apple TV or Apple movie series. I don't remember. Anyways, it follows an AI intelligence who has to go around and basically save humans, but all he wants to do is watch his soap operas. I don't know a lot about it other than that. I know that people are absolutely adoring it, and I know it's 149 pages, my version is. So, I don't think I can get the rest of the series in this cover anymore. I don't know if I can, I'll have to see, but I love it. I'm very excited to actually read through this one, but I have had this one on my shelves for way too long. So we're gonna do this one. A 2. Shelf 2. This one took me a surprising long amount of time. So shelf 2 is mostly thrillers, contemporary, and horror books, actually. I put all of those kind of in one because at the time that I started these shelves, I didn't have enough of one of them to make it its own section without it looking kind of funny. So I just put them all together, and I think they take up 2 shelves or something like that. 2.5, I think it is. But I didn't know what to pick because none of the books up there were really catching my eye. So I ended up going with one that's going to be actually a second chance. So I have read this author before. I loved her and I DNF'd one book. So it's kind of on the fence for me. One was one of my favorite books of 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. One I DNF'd the next year. I have an arc of the one that just came out by this author, and I'm late. It came out in October, I want to say. But I'm gonna read After She Wrote Him by Sulari Gentile. Now the reason I'm gonna do that is I really enjoyed the girl in the library, the woman in the library. I think this one must be before that actually. I think this was actually published before The Girl in the Library, which was a murder mystery that I thoroughly enjoyed. This one I tried to read, but I couldn't put it down because I had to basically binge the whole book because it's kind of one continuous story that's switching between points of view of a female author and a male author who are basically writing each other's stories in parallel universes. It's really kind of trippy, but it's also really interesting. It's a very short book. It's like 200 and some odd pages, 230 pages. So I have a feeling once I get into it, I'll be good. I just need to get into it. I keep moving over because it's like the reflection now. Darn. Okay. Oh, all right. Another 14. Shelf 14 again. Well, since I picked Black Sun, I might as well continue the series. I have Fevered Star, which is the sequel, and this cover is freaking stunning. We are but fevered stars, here a little while, bright with promise, before we burn away. Ooh. Maybe I'll do a whole spoiler reading vlog of reading these. I could do a spoiler one and a spoiler-free one. That would be kind of fun. You guys have any interest in that? I don't know. Oh my gosh. I'm honestly super excited that I'm going to be reading the series, or at least part of it. 2 more. Now. 9. Next shelf is shelf number 9. So shelf number 9 is actually the first book in my fantasy. I swear, I believe everyone except for one of my shelves were in fantasy so far, and that's absolutely insane. So, it's the first shelf of my fantasy section, and I'm gonna read When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill, because this one, I feel like is one that should be read right now. But basically, this follows what was known as the mass dragoning. So in 1955, hundreds of thousands of women sprouted wings, scales, and talons and took to the skies. And then it follows what happens after to society when all these women have left. And it follows a girl who is left behind who did not turn into a dragon. And I love that premise. I think it is very interesting, and I have been told this book is very feminist, and I'm very excited for that. I think this is very relevant for right now. I do live in the States, in the Midwest. Yeah. I'm gonna read this one next. I'm also gonna add this one to my list for this month, for sure. Ooh. And another 14. That's 3 14s in like one set. That's a lot of 14s. This last one, the third one off of my broken binding shelves. Apparently the die wanted me to catch up on my broken binding books, which if I read through all of those this year, I will be so excited. We're gonna finish the series. So yeah, let's do a vlog. Let me try and actually do a vlog of reading this series. I can't look at these because I don't know. They're spoilers. They are very much spoilers. I was spoiled for the Dragonbone Chair series, the Memory, Sorrow, Thorn, because I looked at the end pages. But they're gorgeous! So I'm so excited to read this. Just so excited. I'm just gonna read the whole trilogy. I don't do that normally. That is not a thing I tend to do. I don't binge series. I have a hard time doing that because I tend to end up in a reading slump afterwards. So here's to hoping that this series doesn't put me in a reading slump. All right, I'm gonna rearrange these books and then, no, I'm not. We're just gonna do this. All right. So I don't really have like prompts for each book, but this is my pile. So we've got, I did write it down. So I've got shelf 19, I got shelf 14, I got shelf 20, I've got shelf 2, shelf 14, shelf 9, and shelf 14 again. So let's just, you know what, we're just gonna flip these around a little bit. We're just gonna put this trilogy together. And then we'll put these at the top. Oh, alright. So here we go. This is what we're reading this month. Honestly, I am so excited to be binging this series. I cannot express. I'm glad that I picked Black Sun first and didn't do Kings of the Wild, which is the other one I was debating doing, because if I did Kings of the Wild, then I'd be doing a duology and then another series. So I'm so excited, guys. Like, this is a this is a heavy fantasy month. Like, all except for 2 are fantasy, one's sci-fi, and the other one is kind of a thriller psychological thing. So I'm excited. Oh my goodness, this will be great. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and it helps me out in the long run. If you have any interest in me doing that vlog for binging the series, put a raven down in the comments. Actually, just put a raven down in the comments in general, or a crow, any. I think there's an emoji that's one of those. But put one of those down in the comments, or let me know in the comments, because I kind of want to do that now. Even if I fail. But I'm excited. Alright, so that's what I got for you guys here today. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, keep reading, and keep moving forward. Bye-bye.